you. Yes. All right. So I want to make sure, in case anyone comes on and has a question, I'm just going to update my phone here to make sure I can answer any questions. So I'm hanging out here with Angie Correa. Did I say that right? Correa?
Yep. Perfect.
All right, cool. And I'm looking for it, but I can't find it. So they'll just have to DM us if you have any questions. Oh, I found it. Okay, cool. So what we are discussing today is going to be a follow-up of some resources I just added for my company, Lead Up for Women, and I wanted to bring this to everyone. That's why I'm going live on my personal page, and Angie will share it with her page as well. But here's the importance of what we want to talk about today. No one's coming, and I'm saying this because all the money that's ran out for the PPP and the EIDL and the grants, and everyone I've known that has applied for it hasn't gotten it. They said the paperwork was incomplete. So we're on here to help share with you today what your options are and how you need to be sure that you're covered. And Angie, thank you for joining me today, because just recently I joined forces with Legal Shield to be able to bring those resources to the women of Lead Up for Women. Why is that important? One, my neighbor just got hacked the other day. So identification shield, right? Online monitoring. And when I look at the online monitoring, I'm talking like they're monitoring everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Checking accounts, your social media account, your credit card, your everything.
The dark web, and even letting you know if there's sex offenders in your neighborhood. Which
yes, I did see that. And by the way, everyone on eSmart that's watching me right now, hey Don, hey Kathleen, hey Shara, I have monitored eSmart and we don't have any sex offenders. I did look, by the way. The other piece of that, and what really intrigued me, Angie, when you brought this to me and we talked about it a few months ago, was the opportunity for the women business owners that fit in Lead Up for Women, right? The important thing that I wanted to bring it on as a resource is the small business coverage. So I'll give you an example, real true life story. I have an attorney that my partner and I pay like $250 an hour for. When these attorneys that Legal Shield has, you have an opportunity to connect with them for as low as like $25 a month for you to be able to have contracts made. They can review contracts for you. There's so much, right? Did you want to dive into that, Angie?
Yeah. So first and foremost, I mean, thank you for having me. I love that you know, when I bring opportunities to like-minded women who have very similar goals, we get to really work shoulder to shoulder together. And this is really the true example of, you know, community over competition, right? It's like ultimately, we both run thriving businesses that are here to support women in business and individuals. And so this opportunity, when it fell into my lap, really showed me this broad scope of how we as women and as individuals and as business owners and entrepreneurs are leaving spaces and leaving gaps that could really be detrimental to our futures, whether personally or in our business down the road. And especially with everything that's happening with COVID right now, you know, we must understand what is at our fingertips in terms of justice and in terms of what kind of recourse we can have for anything that might happen. And so there's a bunch of different levels in which we can really look at this. And so, yes, you mentioned, you know, there's a couple of different levels in terms of memberships, and I won't go too much into pricing, but I will say that, you know, we get to not only protect our businesses in our personal scope, meaning that when was the last time you updated your will? When was the last time that you added your business to that? Right? When was the last time that you made sure that all your kids were added to it? Because I had somebody that was like, oh my God, I forgot to add my last kid and it's been 8 months, you know? So there's that aspect.
It's great for that, you know? I think I did mine a few years ago. So it's nice to be able to go in and update that. And if you haven't even considered it, you know, now is the time where, you know, you should be getting your house in order. They're handing out packets for wills, you know, for healthcare providers on the front line that are 21 years old.
Yeah,
you know, they never thought they'd ever be filling something like that out. But this kind of new reality shows us that if no one else is going to, you know, if you don't take action on your life and get things in order, I always say, no one's coming on a white horse to rescue you, right? Like you've got to take the bull by the horns and be the leader of your life and give yourself the permission to take care of yourself. So whether that be covering yourself personally, yes. Shocker to everyone that I got a speeding ticket, and my good friend is watching and is a police officer. So, you know, I snapped a photo of the
summit.
And I sent it into the attorney. Someone followed up with me, and then the attorney called me back. You know, this was like red carpet stuff. And I'm not kidding when I say, you know, I didn't think I'd ever need to utilize those services, but it is so nice to know that I do events, a lot of events. You know, I have contracts that need to be reviewed that I'm signing and other people are signing. And it is so expensive for us to utilize an attorney. So I love this opportunity because it allows every size business. Doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur and you're working your small business at home and you need contracts or coverage or whatever it may be, you know, it's just so affordable every month. I kind of look at it like a Christian healthcare is the way I like to look at it, where you all pull your money in every month and then you pay, everyone pays every month. And when you really need the coverage, like it's there.
Yeah, shared economy.
It's your turn, right?
Yeah,
so
shared economy.
Yeah. And that's what I like it, because I feel everything should operate that way. But that's, you know, my personal opinion. But that's just the membership side of it, which is to me a no-brainer. And I'm sure everyone out there knew this existed long before me. And maybe it took me 48 years to finally figure out like, oh, and then there's this thing that I didn't even know existed, right? So I jumped on and got coverage. My husband got it for his small business. You know, it's something that's smart to do. So anyone that's listening, if you don't have that type of coverage already, just DM me, right? I'm Colleen Biggs. Everyone knows who I am. You're on my page. So you're my friend if you're watching. And all you have to do is DM myself or Angie, and we can share more information of how easy it is. It's like signing up for anything else.
Yeah, I mean, and I wanted to like, I know it probably, I wonder if anybody can see it, but like even this is how simple this is, you guys. Like legitimately, you get to just click on a button. And I've used this multiple times already in the last 48 hours. And, you know, I think here's the thing. I think, you know, if you don't know that you have rights, then you don't have rights. If you don't know that you have rights, you don't have rights. And that can mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, right? Good things happen to bad people. It happens all the time. Or things just happen and it's like, it just kind of slides through. I mean, there's, you know, besides the small business, I mean, there's just so many things that like, what is a contract? A contract is your cell phone bill. A contract is your car lease. A contract is like all of the different things that you do, right? And then when it comes to really small business, I really want to make sure that we kind of, you know, make sure that people are really understanding the fact that you leave yourself open for challenges, especially during this time when everybody's trying to either, you know, hold back their money or like not pay or, you know, find ways to sue each other. I mean, people get really creative you know, and especially during, you know, catastrophes like this. And to be able to have the peace of mind to send an attorney for a nominal fee through an app, a copy of a contract to make sure that it's like being upheld.
Yeah. Both sides.
Why
would
you're renting?
If you're renting, you need to know your rights. You can send it, right? I had my brother-in-law had a question that he was utilizing it for, which was he lives in an apartment complex, and then all of a sudden, or a condo, built a condo in like a condominium plex, and they said he can no longer park his truck there, you know, with what was on the side of his truck, right? So again, having an attorney review that. These are little things that pop up. You know, the other piece of that is if you are renting space. So if you do have a house that you rent or apartment complexes that you rent, what are your options right now? You know, with those that may not be paying, you know, what are the contracts that you can get drawn up for that? So again, to me, it's just like pulling the money together, such a small fee to be able to have and have an attorney on your team, you know, like you know, everyone says I have a guy, so you have to call someone to figure out who the guy is. You can say like I have a guy or a girl, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's just the identification side, the small business side, then you have your personal side to it. But the other side of it, which is really important right now for, anyone who has lost money or is looking to make money. What I love about the opportunities that Legal Shield brings is if you also want to be able to bring it to clients that you service or whatever it may be, your family or friends, or get together with other people to be able to build this you're able to make it a small business. Now, I don't utilize it as building a small business for myself. I utilize it for the resources that I bring to my community. However, it is there for you to be able to build a cash flow, a very significant cash flow, with all of the click funnels already built out, all of the emails, the videos,
and all of the resources,
resources, again, on an app that you can just send to one very quickly. And I want to make sure everyone realizes that specific point of how crucial it is. If you are lacking in funds right now, you literally can make in the next 40 days or 45 days, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And I'm not kidding you, because I'm not like,
well, I think I think what's interesting, right? It's definitely not one of those get rich quick schemes, right? Like people are, oh my God, it sounds too good to be true. It really isn't. It's really set up to be methodical so that you have benchmarks so that you can actually get a return on your investment quickly, right? The whole point of this is that it is a peer-to-peer marketing. It's the same thing that we're doing when we find an amazing bottle of wine or a great restaurant or an amazing lipstick. I'm always asking people for lipstick, and I'll spend upwards of $50 on a lipstick from Yves Saint Laurent, right? And so, because I see it on somebody else. And so this is a similar kind of thing. It's like, we get to tell people, like, there's been a huge benefit to my life, my business, and the people that are around me that I love dearly. And I want to make sure that they have services that provide them a high level of security and safety and empowerment, right? And so with me sharing that, yes, I do get a residual commission from that, and bonuses are set up for that. And so the great thing about it is that this company has been around since 1972. It was all founded based on the fact that the founder got into a car accident and all this stuff started happening. And he was like, this is happening to people all day long and they don't have representation, right? They don't have a legal support for that. And so then fast forward, we are being coached and mentored by people who have been in this since they're like 22, 23, 24 years old. And it's been amazing to really see not only the fact that it is a viable opportunity, but that people have stayed in it for a long time, right? There's longevity. We've come to a whole new disruptive market in terms of, the app and all this stuff. You would think that it was a brand new company because of all the technology that's been involved. But honestly, it's because they've been progressive with how they've addressed the market and becoming disruptors in this particular category and field, the same way that Netflix was to Blockbuster, the same way that, Uber was to taxis and your own cars, the same way that Airbnb is to hotels. It's the same concept.
So let's talk to those that do now work from home, weren't working from home, right? But your company had to displace you. You became working remotely now, something you've never done in the past. And then once the economy opens back up and the quarantine is lifted and the shutdown's done and we're able to come back out, you're like, but I really like this working from home thing. Maybe I don't want to go back to work or back to the regular grind. So if that's you and you're looking to and again, I don't have to sell anybody on anything because it's your choice, right? It's your choice. I'm presenting you with something that I added as a bonus to Lead Up for Women because I wanted the women to, if they're starting up their own businesses, to have all the paperwork that they need for an LLC or whatever they're filing. I used to refer them to an attorney. This is what I've done forever. And so now I'm just saying, hey, I gather the experts. Legal Shield's one of the experts that I brought in to say, here we go. Here's a resource for you. But I wanted Angie to get on with me today because I've trickled it a little bit out, to my community, but I really think it's important that everyone understands, there's a coverage part of it that's super important, and having all of the documents and contracts and all that stuff, right? Protecting you, your family, and I love the family plans. But then the other side of that is if you want to make extra money on the side and you're interested in being able to earn money while staying at home, here's a great opportunity for start that flow.
Yeah.
Open up the flow and the gate, let the money start coming in, and maybe not right away you can replace your full income, but as hard as you work, depending upon where you get to, you may only have to go back to work for a short period of time to the grind. If you enjoy being able to be a self-starter, having your own business, I want to share the opportunity with people out there and not make the decision for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the other thing to add on to that also, which is what I love about this kind of industry, is that you do not have to have any experience. You do not have to be a salesperson. This is all about peer-to-peer. Like, you use it, you share your story, or you share somebody else's story. You don't have to have any kind of educational background. You do not have to be an attorney to know anything that's going on. And quite frankly, we've seen people who have already achieved, some really amazing results in a few days because they're following a system. There's a system that's been in place for many, many, many years. And it's really the support system in terms of, Colleen is here and she introduces me to somebody and I can have this conversation with you. We have resources that are being utilized every single minute of every single day, because I don't really have time to go and learn everything that's available to us. All I know is that I found the need for me to be able to take advantage of the service personally. I also was at the precipice of this whole pandemic starting. And I was like, you know what? I've always been one to have a secondary form of income. And lots of people talk about have multiple, more than that. I don't have enough. And so, I was like,
I'm sorry. I need to ask the question really quick to the audience. Who has way too much money and doesn't want to make any more?
Hello.
Oh,
yeah.
No one said anything.
Exactly.
That's impossible. So no, unless you're using it for toilet paper because you ran out, right? So again, I want to thank Angie because she brought this opportunity, to me a couple months ago. I've been introducing it as a resource to Lead Up for Women. And then I thought I might as well just let everyone that I'm friends with know that you have really two opportunities. You can just dive into it as protection for you, your family, anybody who has kids that are starting to drive. Trust me, you'll be calling an attorney at some point. You're getting divorced. Like, I thought the two things that really got me was if I'm getting divorced, right? Because I've been through a couple of those. But the other piece was, I don't need it anymore. But the kids are like getting worried. I don't need it anymore. But the other piece of that is, you can use it if you're getting divorced. You can use it if you're starting up a business. And I work with a lot of women that are interested in Lead Up for Women because of the leaders and they want to start their own business. And so they're not sure how to really get started with the paperwork. So they go and pay an attorney or pay someone to do all of it for you, where this is an opportunity where you get the coverage and you don't have to go pay the high ticket dollar. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Even if you just did it for that, right? To just have that small business coverage if you're getting into business for yourself for just such a low, that's the thing. The kicker is how cheap it is, right? I think I could pay for an entire year and it still wouldn't be as much as I paid for an attorney last year.
Right. Per hour. Right.
Yeah. Oh, I know for sure it wouldn't be.
So, I think the other thing too, and just, because I know you run an amazing community and you're all about community and you're really about bringing people together. And what I love about this is that it's really based on that same core belief, right? That same core value of community, support. And I will say that the organization that we're building is really based on women like you, women like me, and a multitude of others that have expertise in so many different fields. From homeschoolers to PR mavens to, we have a mailman, and so, but it's really that high quality of work ethic and real determination to support and allow everybody to have the same opportunity. It's not
you're stronger together. An
Exactly.
individual out here trying to do what they do, and then when you put it all together, I kind of look at it like a bonfire, right? So, and I went camping last weekend, so this is what I thought when I looked at it. If I spread the wood out all around, you know, and they're all 2 feet from each other, and I light each piece of wood, it's not going to burn very hot. They're each going to burn, maybe they'll just blow out, right?
Yeah.
But when you put all the wood together and you light it,
love it. Chill.
you know what I'm saying?
Love that.
So it's the same. That's what community is about. So it's kind of, you know, that's why I've always preached and loved franchises. Yep. I love franchising because it's a way for someone to own their own business, but, you know, with that safety net of knowing it's a proven product, you get the support, the marketing materials are made, you don't have to go reinvent everything yourself, and you have support and community of other people doing the same thing you're doing.
I love it. And what's even better about that example is that if you go, I was having this conversation, same thing. I was like, okay, if you go and have a McDonald's franchise or you go and have a Dunkin' Donuts franchise, you need a minimum of $250,000, if not more.
No, it's more.
More, right?
It's more. So, yeah. Like for McDonald's, it's almost $1 million.
Okay, so there you go. For this, you can be your own franchisee for $99.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, low barrier to entry. Get started tomorrow. You're already set up. Everything's set up for you. And so, you know, it's really set up to see people succeed.
Yeah. And, you know, again, it's about, to me, it's just smart coverage. Yeah. And so I wanted to make sure people knew it wasn't just about the coverage. If you are looking to take the lead and you want to put some extra passive income into your family to be able to earn some extra money, that is an ancillary benefit of this. Yeah. That is available to you. And that, you know, I know Angie said she brought it on as coverage for herself. Then she offered it as a suite of services for her clients that she works with. And she thought, well, this will be great. Same thing that I'm doing. And then she was like, wait a minute. I'm making all this money. They're depositing money into my bank account every day for everyone that's signing up. Like, I just made more money than, you know, in 3 days than I even, you know, paid for this thing even 4 days ago or whatever. So again, it's just insane how quick that moves. So 2 things: membership, cover yourself. And by the way, no one's going to give you permission to do that. And no one's going to come and tell you you need the coverage. Not one person is going to tell you that you need the coverage. And on the other side of that, it's a great way just to make passive income, or it could be your main income, and that's all you make to, you know, to be able to be a stay-at-home mom and or stay home and not have to go back to the grind. And I'm always talking to women, so men, you're more than welcome to as well. I just always direct myself towards women because that's who I cater to. But I want everyone to know, we'll put the information down below. All you have to do is DM Angie or I if you're interested and want some more information. We'll put some links in the bottom, a couple videos so you guys can see them. But I do want to make sure that everyone's aware of that as well. So
awesome.
Thanks for being with me today.
Absolutely. Anytime. I always love chatting with you, girl.
I appreciate it. All right, Angie, we're going to say bye for now. We'll see you guys. Thanks so much. Don't forget, live your life without asking permission of anybody else.